Hey everyone, The Amateur is a smart, emotional, grounded spy thriller that doesn't rely on shaky camera tricks or over the top stunts or endless explosions to create excitement. I really enjoyed this film, but I don't think the trailer really set it up for success, and that can absolutely impact your viewing experience. So, I'm going to share what I loved about The Amateur, where it has problems, and what you need to know to get the most out of this experience. And yeah, I think you should see this one in the theater. And here's why. Directed by James Hawes and adapted from the novel by Robert Littell, The Amateur follows Charlie Heller, this CIA security coding expert who isn't exactly a people person. He's brilliant, he loves solving complex problems, and he's deeply in love with his wife, Sarah. She's his tether to the world, gently nudging him toward these new experiences, including buying him a small plane to restore, hoping it'll inspire him to learn how to fly. But when Sarah is killed during a terrorist attack while on a business trip to London, Charlie's world just implodes. He offers his intel to his superiors to track down her killers. But when they refuse to act, he takes matters into his own hands. What follows is this deeply personal journey of a man's methodical, calculated descent into the shadows to find justice for his wife. It's a spy thriller that also works as a character study of a quiet man who learns how to survive in a world that just was never built for him. Rather than relying on spectacle, this film builds tension through steady character development, clever strategy, and emotional stakes that are rooted in who Charlie is as a character. It's a great example of F. Scott Fitzgerald's idea that story is character, or even Robert McKee's claim that character is plot and plot is character. Everything unfolds naturally from Charlie's growth and the choices that he makes. This is one of the freshest takes on the spy genre in a long time. It really does balance action with intellectual suspense. And one standout moment that really displays this is the dead man switch bluff, or not bluff, that Charlie shares with his director. And it's part of this blackmail scheme that he puts into play in order to get the training that he needs to go after his wife's killer himself. It's a bold and clever move that sends the agency just scrambling on what might be a wild goose chase, seeded with carefully designed breadcrumbs that look like a clever man has hidden his trail really well. So you end up left constantly thinking, is that part of the plan? Is that a slip up? Is he still 10 steps ahead of them or is he falling behind? That kind of layered storytelling is incredibly satisfying for me. And I left the theater wanting to see it again, just to catch those nuances that I missed the first time around. What really sets this film apart is how Charlie just stays in character. His evolution feels grounded and earned, with no sudden transformations or surprise super spy stuff. He's not a Mary Sue. There are no Mary Sue moments in this film. This is about the consequences of underestimating someone who is quietly brilliant. Rami Malek plays Charlie Heller, a CIA code analyst with level 5 clearance. He's basically the guy who designed, if not built, the agency's security systems, and he has this gift for seeing the world as a puzzle. And he has a gift for unlocking those puzzles. The film opens with Charlie in his barn, unboxing plane parts, which are a clear visual cue to his mechanical mind. We're then seeing him kiss his wife goodbye as she leaves on a business trip. Then he's off to the office and decrypting a file from a special informant. The film quickly and efficiently establishes Charlie as a devoted husband, a gifted problem solver, and someone who prefers routine over risk. And when Sarah, played by Rachel Brosnahan, is killed and the agency refuses to act, everything changes. His grief collides with his intellect and growing anger in a way that feels absolutely authentic. You understand why he does what he does, and you're with him every step of the way. You totally get it. Brosnahan's performance is brief in this film. However, it's through these flashbacks and moments of imagined presence that she kind of anchors the film emotionally. So, whether it's a memory, a glimpse in the shadows, or a quiet moment shared in his mind, Sarah never really leaves Charlie. While the trailer for The Amateur is technically solid, it's a little misleading. It frames the movie as a traditional action thriller, think like The Bourne Identity, and focuses on two of the film's most intense action scenes. That could set the wrong expectations because while it has a good amount of action, it also has a methodical plot. So the thing you need to know is that The Amateur isn't an action first film. It's a character driven story that uses action sparingly and strategically. I really enjoyed the slower, more thoughtful pacing, but I suspect some viewers are going to walk in expecting a more explosive film because of the trailer, because it really sells the adrenaline in the way they put it together. But the movie, it delivers more nuance. It's not about body counts. It's about strategy. It's about grief. And it's about controlling one's environment and manipulating it. Also, one narrative element kind of feels a little too neat. In the opening, Sarah asks Charlie what the CIA even does with the data that he finds. And he answers that he has to trust them to do the right thing. It's a solid line, but it really kind of stands out. We never really learn what Sarah does for a living on top of all of it. And she goes off to this trip to London, which kind of feels like a random location. You know, she stays at a hotel and the next thing we know, she's in the middle of this terrorist action and she's killed while in that hotel where the terrorist act is happening. And it just raises questions. Was it really coincidence? Was there a subplot that was cut during editing? It feels like something is missing, some connective tissue that would make her death feel less like random fate and more like fallout, especially because of who Charlie is. It doesn't break the film, but it does leave one loose end in an otherwise tight story. From a cinematic standpoint, the film is tightly constructed. Despite its global footprint, everything feels pretty well earned. Nothing is rushed. The pacing mirrors Charlie's arc, and the action really does escalate as his confidence grows. There's also a recurring visual metaphor that I really loved, and it was the keychain puzzle that Sarah gives Charlie. It's this subtle and beautiful clue about how he manipulates the world around him. And every time he fiddles with it, you can see his mind working. It anchors us in his thought processes and reflects the strategic nature of the film. This is a game of chess, not a shoot, shoot, bang, bang, blow them up movie. And the writing is really smart in how it pulls that together. This isn't a story that hinges on just one twist. It's a chain of revelations that fits together like a bunch of gears in a machine. So while some of those twists actually were revealed in the trailer, it doesn't actually spoil the film as long as you go into it knowing it's a character piece. What makes it especially rewarding is that the plot is the character. Charlie's evolution is the story. Every move, every escalation is rooted in who he is and what he's becoming, or perhaps not becoming. Laurence Fishburne plays Colonel Henderson, the man who is assigned to train Charlie for his mission. Their relationship becomes one of the film's strategic anchors, with their scenes highlighting how Charlie grows by leaning into what he already does really well in order to survive. Henderson isn't trying to mold him into a spy. He's trying to help Charlie become a sharper, more focused version of himself. At one point, Henderson tells Charlie to just focus on what you're good at. That single line really unlocks the entire film. It's both a life lesson and kind of a cipher for the story, and one that Charlie uses to flip the system on its head. Their moments together turn from mentorship to tension, grounding the film in something deeper than just revenge. It's about purpose and clarity. It's about survival on Charlie's terms. And then there's Jon Bernthal's brief appearance as the Bear, the CIA's most dangerous operative. And he really does leave a lasting impression. I really enjoyed him in this film, and I wish there were more of him. He's the agent everyone fears, but unlike the bureaucrats who overlook Charlie, the Bear actually recognizes his brilliance and shows him a quiet respect. Through Charlie's eyes, the Bear is both a benchmark and a threat. And for a moment, you kind of wonder if the film will try to reshape Charlie into someone like him. Instead, Charlie becomes more of who he already is. Sharper, he's smarter, and he becomes more methodical, but on a bigger scale that lets him manipulate the world around him. That creative choice speaks volumes about the film's commitment to the character. Also, the fact that the Bear respects Charlie while others overlook him, that says everything about the bloated, overconfident higher-ups who just dismissed him. This is where the FAFO energy kicks in, because those execs, they effed around and now they're finding out. What really makes The Amateur work is that it's not about turning Charlie into a different person. It's about watching him become more himself. You don't get a training montage that gives him killer instincts and skills. You get logic, you get planning, you get a guy who's really good at code breaking and figuring out calculated risks. You get a protagonist who never pretends to be something he's not, and that makes him even more dangerous. And the payoff, it works. If you come for a character-driven story, you will get closure, even if the ending isn't quite what you might have expected, because it still feels earned in the long run. So, is this film ticket worthy? I gotta say, sure, yes. Take my $20. I'm in. I really enjoyed it. I love character pieces. But the real question is, are you gonna see it? I hope you do. This is one of those movies where everything feels deliberate and earned, despite any of the small flaws that it has. I also love that there's no exposition dump, no spoon-fed plot. The film respects the audience and trusts you to follow the threads. So go see The Amateur, then come back here and tell me what you thought. I'll meet you here in the comments. So let me know if I got it right. Did you see the ending coming? What did you think of Charlie as a character? And hey, if you enjoyed this review, please do give it a thumbs up. And also be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're in the mood for more film discussions or videos, why not check one of these out? All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing. Bye for now.